Hello, everyone.
Hi, hi. How are you doing?
Doing good. Such a great Tuesday in Berlin. What about you?
Doing good too. It's a bit chaotic over here, so that's why this stream's going to be a bit shorter. But
Mhm.
overall, it's nice, enjoying the weather. How about you, Randall?
It's a bit early for me because I was up late night last night doing karaoke,
Mhm.
and then this started right in the middle of my early morning. So there we go.
It's
West Coast U.S. That's the pain we suffer in dealing with people from Europe and all that. It's
it's
fine.
9 a.m. for you, right?
Yes, right. It's
Oh wow.
early. Early when you've been up until 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. with karaoke. So yeah.
Totally.
It's early. It's early. So I'm gonna. My role here is to just watch and observe and ask questions. So that's really all I'm doing today. I presume for the next hour and a half, 2 hours.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
So, how about I share my screen and we can check out what
Maybe you
we'll
can
be
tell what we are doing
Yeah, good plan.
exactly.
that while you're preparing the screen.
Exactly. Wait, let me share my screen and then I can get everybody up to speed. Cool. I think you have to put my screen on the stage, right?
Exactly. And I'm removing the overlay. There we are.
I see something.
Nice. So, yes, welcome to the stream where we're building, or rather vibe coding, a deck builder roguelike card game written entirely in Flutter and using everything AI and nothing manual. It's a game which is, so for those watching that know, deck building games, roguelikes, where you have a set of cards in your hand, and each turn you try to upgrade cards, achieve goals, and kind of become stronger. And it's a roguelike because you will have to try multiple times. It's going to be a challenge, and you will kind of gain stuff over different runs. The theme is it's a humoristic or satirical dev theme, kind of. Basically,
Can
the
you
goal
zoom in a
is,
little bit more for us, by the way?
oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So kind of the goal is to get users as quickly as possible in as little time as possible. And to do that, you'll have to play different cards. You'll have to do marketing. You'll have to play feature cards. You'll have to fix bugs and so on. And oh, all right, let me go over here. So we have a Figma where there's a bunch of different prototypes and different kind of things that we played around with. We designed a bunch of cards. And yeah, the current state of the game is we implemented kind of like the very basics. We have, so what you're seeing here is a Flutter application. It's using my IDE that I'm working on called Byte. We're using Cursor, probably mostly together with Gemini 2.5, but we may switch between models.
Mhm.
And what we implemented already is we have cards in our hand that we can select, we can play, we can do it like this and then hit
Oh,
release. We can, yeah, I think that's mostly it. So
that's
a
really
bunch of stuff
nice.
under the hood.
I
And
missed the previous stream and it's already like so much things improved since last one. See.
yeah, last time we left off at pretty much this state. I took
Mm-hmm.
some time today to, like, it was all vibe coded, don't worry, I didn't do any manual coding.
Mm-hmm.
But I just add, like before we had a bunch of placeholder cards that had
Mm-hmm.
this that had like the placeholder texture was very confusing. I just added a bunch of cards. These are like the actual cards that they represent. They're not balanced at all or like even fun, but
Mm-hmm.
they work, and that's kind of the starting point. Last time we spent a bit of time wrestling with using the center slice rect, which the AI wasn't able to figure out. We blamed it on Flutter itself because the API was kind of weird and there were open issues that kind of
Mm-hmm.
prevented us in using it in a way that we wanted to. So it took a bit. It's not perfect at all. Like, check this out. This is terrible. But like, I vibe coded it and told it to re-implement this graphic with the custom painter. So as a reference, this is the one that I design in Figma. I kind of just copied it over and told it to re-implement this using custom paint. Not perfect. This is gonna be redone in some future episode or like at some future point in time. But I just wanted to clean up slightly.
Meantime, before you just start, Randall is watching here for questions. You can put a Q in front of it in the chat and start asking your questions. And we actually have already one.
Go ahead.
So the question comes in.
By the way, for me, like I'm on a single monitor setup right now, so I'm not seeing any of that. So whatever question kind of comes up, please just tell me. I won't see what's on the screen.
Oh, you don't see, okay, stream. All right, very good. The question comes in. How different is prompting with agentic workflows versus standard chat? Any recommendations?
I mean, it's really a matter of kind of how you define stuff. Like nowadays, a standard chat, most of chats kind of implement this agentic behavior. I mean, the main difference is that instead of just replying, it actually replies in some sort of format that you can interpret as a tool call. For example, you can tell you, please reply with the contents of this file, and then actually just write that file. So that's like, it's kind of a marketing-y term. So in general, it's just more automated, I would say. Or what do you think, as well?
And somebody mentioned, the same person mentioned, can't wait the wide web support. So do you plan to support web?
Yes, I've been working on kind of so the current state of Byte and this kind of app is that it's a command line tool that you have to execute. So if I open this up, basically I had to run Byte Flutter run, and this means that you have to have your application locally. You need, like right now, it's only supporting macOS because, to be honest, I've only built it for macOS, and there are some subtle differences between operating systems. And what I'm working on, which is, I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, but now it's actually almost there. I have a working version online already, which is just facing a couple of small issues. Basically, you can just visit the website. You will get this interface fully in web. You can open a chat and kind of tell it to please implement the login screen, and then you'll be able to kind of build up your app from within the web. If you wanna kind of learn more and follow along, best place probably Discord or Twitter. We'll post a link in chat in a minute, I guess. But yeah, it's coming.
All right. Thanks for answering those, and stage is yours. Let's go.
Cool. So this is kind of where I wanted to talk to you and what your thoughts are. So I have a couple of ideas what to work on next. We just need to decide what to do. So this stream we are gonna have a bit less time, but that's gonna be all right. So I was thinking we could be working on some UI, because I mean, right now it's just you're straight up thrown into the game. There's no kind of main screen, no game over screen whatsoever. So we could work on some UI. Animations, like, okay, hear me out. Animations aren't like the core of like apps and things in general, but we're talking about a game, and I feel like a game needs to kind of feel juicy and needs to feel fun. And for that, like, it doesn't need to be like super polished, but for example, if we play this dark mode and then we play build in public, so we have 2 cards, you just hit release and it's gone, and you get some users, so it's very kind of raw. I would expect we play this, and press release. This one kind of pops up and symbolizes that it's being like its effect is kind of taking place. This one is doing so, and there's some kind of user icons that float or fly towards your user counter, which is also like this is still using the old SVG. That's why it's looking bad.
Like multiple stuff can be here, like we can use some effects, like, you know, sometimes when you put let's say if think about something mystery and so on, you just open something and you have a little bit fume smoke and this stuff, like it's just going out, and then you just like have these kind of stuff, or the counter just goes in like a clock way, the
Exactly.
500 things. Like we can go fancy in animations, or we can also do really basic ones. Maybe you can also add voice,
Ooh.
like a little bit music
Fun.
into it, but your game can have a bass music.
That could actually be really fun, because I know there's like lots of
AI is
advancements when
generating
it came to
music
kind of
too.
music, voices. So we could even
Mhm.
have an announcer. So I was thinking that you kind of do a release and there's an announcer that kind of picks from a random quote pool, or even like comes up with it during the game and kind of roasts your release or praises it. So that could be pretty fun.
You can make your readme as a background music in a super way. Okay, like music can be, animations can be, like we can go in any direction you're looking for. Fancy
So,
animations, simple ones.
but yeah, like thinking about it, just having some sort of UI is probably a good start, because
Mhm.
that I feel like
More
ties
2D.
everything together. So you can
Mhm.
actually open up the app. So right now, yeah. So this is the app view. So this is what happens if you open up the game right now, which is kind of
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
underwhelming.
I
So I
see.
was thinking, we have this nice background graphic. Where is it? This one that we kind of use as a main homepage screen, and even animate. Like I think we could try to see if we recreate this in code, and it kind of slowly turns or has some sort of effect. We can come up with a nice design system for kind of this playful buttons.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Meantime, maybe we can add Randall Lee back if you want. And then there we are. Then hello back. I think you are muted.
I
Or not?
was just noticing that I wasn't on the stream, and I went, "Wait a second, why am I not on the stream now?"
You're back. Now you can mention your comments.
But
Alright.
I'm kind of clueless at designing, so that doesn't really help. And you guys doing great back and forth, so I'm just kind of watching the questions for questions. That's about it.
Okay, so yeah, let's just get started. I think building some UI, kind of tying everything together and kind of getting the basics down is a pretty good idea. So, what we're doing right now, or like generally, is, I mean, it really depends on how you define vibe coding. Like some define vibe coding as you don't care about the code at all. Like all you care about is like literally the vibe. What we're doing is we're taking a more hands-on approach. We're actually taking a look at the code. We're trying to architect it in a way where we think that it's going to scale. And that's why I think let's just check out the code so everybody's up to speed. Nothing magic going on. So basically, our full game is like the actual game itself, not the whole app, but like the cycle of the game is controlled by this game controller, which has a bunch of methods that modify its value. So there's a game state, which holds things like what kind of cards do you have in your hand, what is in the sprint backlog, which is the thing where we play the cards to. Um, there's methods to draw cards, and this kind of what it does is modify the current state and yields it. So it's kind of if you've used Qubit, Riverpod, and all these kind of work on this immutable state, which we're also using. So this game is very much like a Flutter app, kind of, rather than like a typical game where you have bullets, physics, and so on flying around. Next up, we have like a registry that just registers all the cards we have, and we have a bunch of cards which just extend like a base card that print the text that is on the card, that have the assets connected, and they have vitally this onPlay and onResolve functions. These are kind of the two functions that are that hold most of the game's logic, as every card, if we check it out in the game, let me zoom in, every card has some kind of effects which manipulate your game state, kind of. So marketing cards generally give you users based on features. Features may allow you to draw cards. Everything and all these things are not really like designed like from a game design perspective to be like fully feature complete, but it's a good start right now. Then yeah, so we have our main game screen. This is what we're probably gonna be changing or like augmenting. This just contains the game right now, and then we have a bunch of widgets like the card hand widget, which handles things like selecting a card by hovering over it, by having like this drag and drop thingy. Exactly. So for this, I would be really curious if it works. I don't know, I haven't tested it before, but we have this graphic in the background, which is an image. So this was generated by ChatGPT, and we could use the image itself and put it into the game, but I would like to animate it. I mean, we could animate it by rotating it, I think.
Yeah,
but it would be interesting. It would be interesting to see if we can re-implement this with a custom painter, so we have more control over the colors and can do some more effects.
You can also think about like layers. Sub-layer can
yes.
turn, and the top one can crop
Yes.
render it.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's a bunch of effects. Like I think I would like to try to re-implement this using custom painter, which should be fairly doable because these are just kind of triangles. If that doesn't work, we can just use the image as is and put it into the game.
I think if you can skip gradients in the middle.
I'd be curious about the code that it generates from looking at that, going, oh, it's just triangles to a center point. See if it can figure that out. Yeah.
So the general kind of layout I would like to do is we want a title screen. So this is the first screen that kind of opens up when you start the game. So we probably want some kind of big button. Let's take this. So this is just random asset pack thingies that I generated using ChatGPT. I just gave it to like make this fun comic-like game asset pack. So let me copy this over and maybe. Actually, I think we can just do it in Figma ourselves. So this is not going to be a design stream, I swear, but just like the plan is I want to screenshot this and give it to the AI. For this, I want to have some kind of structure and some general kind of feel so it knows what to do. So we want this big button in the middle, which probably has a color like this. We may give it a stroke, which always kind of looks pretty nice, like the dark one over here. So again, this doesn't have to look perfect over here because this is just inspiration for the AI. So let's give it a corner radius to make it more playful. Cool, and then some text, start game.
So you wanted to generate everything together, like it's not only the background, so it will create background, button, and place the title and more.
It's a good question. I think we could like screenshot the whole thing. We could screenshot the whole thing just for context and tell it this is going to be a title screen, but we could instruct it to only generate the background for now and kind of continue with the other stuff later on. But yeah,
like I think you can use tokens wiser.
Probably.
We have a million. Let's just use all million up. Come on.
I am okay. Let's go. That was easy.
What's the point of having a million context window if you're not using it every day?
Exactly. So this is a frame. So this is kind of the general vibe, and we're vibe coding. So this is exactly what we're looking for. This is kind of the vibe that I'm going for. And
can you make the start game one a little different? Because it's just call to action.
Exactly. I was thinking about that too, but I thought the AI might just be smart enough to figure that out, but maybe to symbolize. Like, to be honest, I would like this to be a different color, actually. So
maybe
why don't
the orange thingy, that color, can you primary?
Let's take this one, and the stroke can be this one.
Yeah.
Which is very subtle. Oh yeah, it's... Yeah, that kind of works.
Thank you.
Let's give this a bit more. Okay, cool. Something like this. So, I mean, I'm not sure about the colors themselves, and we haven't set up a design system just yet. So I think that's also a thing we want to do. Like we want to have like all the colors and all the things kind of neatly organized. And for this, I would say let's just give it a big prompt and we can iterate a bit and then we'll work on different components. So let's work on, so actually Randall was right. And I think we should actually use a lot of the context just to, I sometimes like doing this. I'm not sure how much it helps, but especially in like a smaller application or like in a specific feature, just giving it everything.
It probably doesn't help your wallet because you're using the paid for version.
Right. But
Yeah.
I'm not paying for the tokens. I'm paying for the requests. So
Yeah.
So
I'm not
better
sure
you feel more.
Exactly. So I'm really not sure what Cursor is doing, if they kind of trunctuate or kind of summarize things, or if they just route it through. But I mean, let's see, I guess. So what we can also do is we have the game markdown, which contains kind of how the game looks, like how it is, kind of the game design document. So let's work on the UI for this game. First, let's create a title screen. Honestly, let's just try to see if it can do everything at once. And if not, we can always revert. I mean, it's a fun learning to see.
Don't forget
And
you got to have the animation in there too, though.
what do we want to do it first try?
I was just thinking, yeah, let it work on it.
Let's try. Let's create a title screen. Then we're gonna screenshot this.
Actually, just interrupting you. If you want to go strategic here, I would say get the colors, put it to your theming, so that when you are creating the title screen, it can already use the primary color of the theming, whatsoever color of the theming. So it will make it way proper and closer. But if you think it's over engineering, you can skip it right now. But if you're going to set the design system, this can already get primary, secondary, tertiary color and others. Really good one that it can pick it up.
That's a very good point. Like I was thinking that we just asked it to do the design system first and kind of guess the colors, because I'm not super sure we want to use these exact colors. These come out from kind of ChatGPT, and you can see this one kind of looks different to these. So there's some issues with the colors over here too. So I would just try to tell it to create a design system first. So what I like to do, the end goal is to create a title screen, and for that, create a design system with, let's just do first colors, etc. taken from the screenshot. Create reusable, fun, game-like widget / components, buttons, etc. Create the title screen, build the background as a, let's call it a fun background widget using a custom painter, and make it animate. Like this is pretty vague.
Maybe you can also call it like animated background widget.
But then it's not fun anymore.
Okay.
That's an animated fun background widget. How about that?
Yeah.
Any questions so far? Let's just see what it does. Like, it's really like there's so many ways to achieve what you're trying to do, and sometimes it's so easy to revert and kind of retry and do stuff. I think sometimes just not overthinking about how to do it and what to do, just starting. Maybe like the thing that I design and we just came up with, like I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do. Like maybe there's nicer or more fun designs. So I think just giving the AI a bit of leeway to try things out. It's pretty.
It extracted
cool.
the colors fine. Look at that. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Amazing.
It's actually doing pretty good with like kind of taking an image as inspiration, then
That's just stunning that we're at this point in my lifetime that we can, and it's interesting because
Actually,
I've noticed that the job of coding has now been shifting then towards constructing better prompts. So you have to be fluent in English now to be a programmer.
And it also helps to kind of understand what is going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely programming is still there at the core. And as I've said on previous shows, I think there's two ways that vibe coding and just AI coding in general have been helpful. One of them is squirting out boilerplate, and the other is filling in a creative gap where I don't know how to do something at all, and I don't even know how to start. And at least getting some direction at random, even if it's hallucination that needs to be challenged later, at least it gets me off of my starting point and at least moving in some direction. So
yeah, for sure.
I found it useful on both of those cases. As an assistant, though, it's not going to replace me. There's a lot of stuff. As we were just watching, as you were crafting that prompt, you were thinking a lot about how you've designed similar things already.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have that experience, I don't know that you could come up with the prompt that seems to be working or mostly working at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So by the way, what we just did, interesting. We will check this out in a sec. We're using Vite, so it requires to have these wrapper files. If you're using Vite and not Cursor, it does it automatically. But right now, I'm just telling it to write the wrapper files, so we can place it on the screen. So check this out. This looks pretty fun.
Good.
So
That's
it did a pretty
so
decent
good.
job. This is kind of the title screen.
Is the button clickable? Is it a button?
Yep. Oh, it actually pushes
and it starts the game.
Wow, no, that is cool.
That is cool.
That's such a good one.
Reload, because once we push it away, we cannot come back. Settings shouldn't do anything. Check this out. It actually showed a snack bar that settings aren't implemented yet.
No way.
So
all right.
That's
okay,
so
how
good.
can we improve? I feel like this feels too sterile and too clean. I feel like there needs to be a bit more. I don't know what it is. Maybe like
can it make it a little rusty?
Exactly, I was thinking about that too. So
old,
if we
a little dirty.
That's a good point. Yeah, I feel like we have a bit of grain just to make it feel like.
Can you get others as inspiration? Like in Figma file, you have great things. I think it can get inspo from there.
Yeah, so I was also thinking I really like this effect, which kind of it's a pseudo 3D where you have a slightly different color at the top than the bottom, which kind of symbolizes or looks like there is a shadow, which kind of gives it this. Just zoom out, it just feels kind of nicer.
Like pixel art.
Exactly. So I kind of just screenshotted this, and let's try to add it to the button.
Let me give you a concept that might be useful to describe what you're trying to do here. Coming all the way back from the pinball world through the video game world, there is this notion of attract mode, ATTRACT, attract mode, which is the mode that a video game would go into or a pinball machine would go into when you're not actually playing. And I'm thinking if you could say, make this more like attract mode, you might actually vibe it up in an interesting way.
I mean, sure. How do you spell? Is it track?
Attract, like attract. Something's magnets attract. Attract. ATTRACT.
ATTRACT. Tract. Oh yeah. Oh, my English. Attract mode. Okay, let's try to make this look more like the attract mode style, whatever that is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is that there's a creative element to this that I have no idea how it's going to come out, but I bet it's better than I'm already thinking.
Yeah. Let's just also give it like just throw everything in there that we have and just see what it
Maybe
comes up.
we can get some Figma things. Like you have good designs up back there that you can add as an extra screenshot.
Yes, For sure. So let's do this. Image version with Simulate 3D by using a darker / lighter color at the top / bottom. Let's also play around with strokes on the buttons, maybe. I don't know. You are the expert.
Mention more of it.
So what else do we have? Maybe some grain. Maybe some grain to the background to make it feel less sterile.
You mean like wheat and corn and stuff? No.
Yeah.
No, grain is like a filmic grain in like olden movies. Okay. Maybe like just throwing ideas into that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can say rusty look, rusty old look. Okay. Still, I think I will understand. Still prompt work.
What else do we have? I mean, let's try and see what it comes up with.
Yeah, later on I would ask for a sound effect. Wondering what it will do. Will it connect with library? Maybe you see Steph's game. It's like cats were meowing, I guess.
Let's see. Yeah, it's certainly fun to experiment. Like what I sometimes like to do is to just give it like the same task, but tell it to be creative and create multiple variations, and then just choose the best one. So if you have no idea, just maybe throw in some references, like give it some ideas, and then just let it be as creative as possible. That works pretty well. So let's see what it is doing. So we got this before. The title screen. Okay, whatever. We don't actually care about the code. Okay, interesting.
Ooh.
So I don't like the gradient. I really do not like the gradient. Let's actually revert. Or is the background grainy? It's not, is it? Oh, there it is. Check this out.
It has grains. Oh my god.
Wait, is it using shaders?
Let's check.
Let's check app button, animated font background. Font background painter. No, it's actually drawing rays on a CPU. Grain painter.
Drawing circles in random offsets.
Wow.
Can you see this on the screen? On the stream?
Yes.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it made it grainy.
Yeah, but I don't like it. Let's actually revert. Okay, for this.
You made all the electrons move one way or another, and then you just say, "Nah, I'm just kidding." This is how Skynet got started.
What about can you go back and say totally do not do the same thing? Will it just go totally to another direction? Have you tried that?
No, but it's kind of hard because it already has context preloaded. So if we don't revert but continue, it's always going to have that kind of what it already did as a bias. So I like to kind of erase its memory, like it doesn't know.
Okay.
Then we can.
Actually, if you make the right side a little larger, maybe we can see the thinking and generating steps and have a clue while waiting.
Yes, so card face top. So I like this. So it's using kind of 2 colors. So we will see. Okay, it's adding width and height, which is fine.
Oh, is it doing it everywhere?
Oh, what the heck? What is this? I mean, what? That's so weird.
Probably you need to be more...
It didn't change the buttons. It changed everything else. Oh my god.
We need to go back to your prompt. Then we just need to specify it more.
Use this for the buttons, nothing else. This
Yeah,
effect
I'm there.
only applies to the buttons. But yeah, this is kind of sometimes just doesn't do what you want it to do. But I mean that's part of the process.
Actually, for that, as much as it is getting closer to what prompt asks, it also goes smarter in another direction, like what a human can say after saying this, and then improve from that context. So it's actually can be covered by their updates or with a better prompting. Like,
Yeah.
it's, the gap there is different than generation.
Yep. I'm not sure about this one. I mean, I'm inclined to say to just use the first thing it generated and just leave it be for now. And when we have kind of a bit of like better understanding what we actually want, we can come back and refine.
Totally.
But yeah, this is kind of nice to see where it's like sometimes it's kind of it's great at kind of going the initial way, but like polishing and sometimes, but I mean it's the same with humans, like we're being very vague with this, so it's I mean everybody would struggle to satisfy what we're actually looking for. So yeah, I mean I like this. We have a nice title screen that we can open and it pushes the game screen. It's changing aspect ratio. This is so weird, like there's some state problem going on. When we zoom, it kind of resets the state and we get a new hand of cards shuffled. But anyways, like we can play cards.
Looks like one rebuilding creates the
yes, exactly.
model again.
I don't know what exactly is going on.
Maybe
yeah,
the
we don't
list
have any.
down in state. The list needs to be lifted to a new, higher state.
Could be, like I think it's an issue in Byte that I had before, but it only sometimes happens. But I mean, don't worry about it for now. Okay, we have a main screen. Let me just put it onto the canvas again. So we have a main screen over here. We have our game screen over there. So how do we proceed? What I'm also missing, but that kind of comes back to animations, is the card backs. So right now we have a set of cards in our hand, and when we draw cards, they just appear. So we would need some cards over here. But we also need everything else. So how about what do you guys think?
Like, can you mention the question, because you came from a long way to there?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just thinking about what kind of the most visual and kind of the best thing to work on. Like I'm almost inclined to say let's do some animations now, to kind of get the ball rolling.
Animations can be, or background of the where you place the cards. Like the gray
yes,
drag cards you to play looks the worst to me.
yes. The only issue with that is kind of I'm not sure what to put there. In Figma, I did a bunch of experiments and they all turned out kind of weird. I think I actually deleted them. I played around with a kind of style like this, but I'm not I'm not convinced about how it should look like. So I'm not exactly sure. Let's do some animations, which is going to be pretty fun. Let's accept all and create a new chat because we're trying something else, or like working on a different feature. I mean, let me actually.
Do you have an animation idea?
Yes, I do. Let me commit first. Whatever we just I'll push later. Yeah, I think I haven't pushed the updates from last week's stream just yet. I will do so in a minute. So what I'm thinking is, first off, whenever a card is kind of doing anything, either playing or resolving, it should pause. So if I play this and it has a play effect, it should kind of grow a bit and then shrink a bit, like to symbolize
like
something.
looking.
Exactly. And when we then press release, before everything kind of disappears, I want the cards kind of paused, and then the effect should happen. Cool. So for this, let's come over. By the way, are there
Can I
any
add one
questions?
thing on it?
Yeah, sure.
Like maybe Randall, you can probably describe it better, that part. But sometimes we have a like really dusty look. Then you drop something and you have the thing going off. Or when you say reset the cards and pull them back, then we can have a little something getting wiping off, or like with a dust going around, like a smoke, like a fog, or anything.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
I
Also,
didn't see that
it should
before.
have
It's not a normal animation.
yeah, it should also have a sense of being off the table. So in other words, you should get a drop shadow when you're carrying the card around.
Yeah.
By the way,
Oh.
I'll grab a drink
Did you hear
real
that?
quick. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay. I love that. You need to hear this once you're back. I love the. Let me just say here.
Yeah,
I love the drop shadow idea.
well, it's like the whole notion of what Mac OS has been trying to do in terms of and iOS in terms of trying to make things, and actually material is like it's trying to make it physicality so that in our mind we're really
Elevation
papers and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Like
I think moving this, yes, I think moving this card should have that same sort of material shadow while it's being moved. And then it could animate it to 0.
Yeah.
When you let go of it.
Yeah, when you're approaching that, then you have it like animated. Elevation just becomes 0, and then it looks like it's sitting there.
Right. Looks like it's planting itself. Then, yeah, I think that is, and same thing. Picking it up, it should animate 0 to N up, and then as you're carrying it around, it stays at N, and then you let go of it. It animates back to 0, so that the shadow disappears like it's dropping, and then little poof. That'd be cool.
And I actually really like it, like.
Yep.
Like.
Yep. You need, yeah.
He's good.
That's the right thing.
Then you have the small puff around the little.
Yeah, I bet we got a bookmark somewhere for a sound generator that makes sounds based on what you do.
No, I will be like
everything now. So you could say
like,
a dog barking
like,
inside a water tank, and it'll make the echoes and the dog bark and everything all at once. It's the AI stuff that's been coming out in the last year. It's just been insane. Absolutely.
I will support the stream separately. I will bring my electric guitar. I will bring.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. All right. Oh, Norbert wants back in. Hold on.
Let's go.
Here we go.
There we go.
I think.
Okay, so I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I just had to open a window because it was getting quite hot in here too. But we're back.
Adding your screen back to space if you're ready.
Yep. I should be ready.
All right, there we are.
Awesome. So, what did I miss?
We actually talk about an animation. Randall, would you like to describe?
Yeah, sure. So we're thinking that it should have physicality. Like when you pick up a card, you should animate it to a height with a drop shadow.
Or elevation.
And then as you carry it around, it should stay with that drop shadow, like you're still holding it.
Oh, like there. There's a small shadow.
It's just a tiny bit. Yeah, look at that.
Right. I mean, we can increase it.
He's like, just a tiny bit. Look at that.
I mean, there's some shadows, so.
You're just covering the card. Yes, just a tiny bit. Yeah.
But yeah, I assume there's some clipping going on, so there might be more, but it's actually being clipped. We can check. The game card widget. So let's see. There is some clipping for sure. So we're not writing code, we're just removing the widget and seeing what happens. So it is still fully wipe coded.
Still.
What changed? Nothing really. Okay, whatever. We can worry about that small shadow later on. But so let's see, what did we want to do? We had the we wanted to have the kind of pop effect, I think, which is going to be interesting to do. So the cool thing is we implemented in the model, we had the card and play, which is basically a class which wraps the card, and it has an instance ID. And the instance ID is, I think, used for a key. Let me check. No, we have a game card widget. Card in play, and it has a card in play. Are we using it? No, actually not. So what I'm thinking is we want to have a global key that we can reference by the ID, and then kind of animate certain cards with it by global key. And so for that, I was thinking that we can create a widget first, which takes another widget and calling a method that kind of animates it in a way that we want it to be. So for this, we can write a prompt. What prompt do we want to write? We want to create a new widget. So we write create a new widget which animates its child. One sec. Yeah, my laptop is kind of weird. Let me turn off my camera actually. So there's more space. Yeah, my laptop, my MacBook is in a weird state where it kind of moves every time I type. So I think it's better if I do this.
Okay.
Present entire screen.
And I am taking your screen back. Okay, now it's loaded. There we are.
Nice. Create a new widget which animates its child. And we want to animate, I mean, do we want one like Uber widget that can animate every kind of thing, or do we want separate widgets for the separate animations? I'm thinking we probably want separate widgets.
Yeah, I would go for separate widgets. Then maybe you can even make the like punishment or like a few ones in a different form, and others can be in different variations.
Yes. So we want this pop effect. It should be possible to reference the state by a global key and call play pop animation.
Meantime, can I ask you which models you were using so far? I think it's only using Gemini 2.5 Pro now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we also took a look at Claude. I think also a bit of Claude, but yeah, 2.5 Pro is kind of the thing we're using right now. Also the thinking version.
Claude.
Yeah, let's just keep the thinking version on. I think it's really a matter of taste and a matter of experimenting.
We just wanted to give some input for our audience.
So it should be possible to reference the state by a global key and call play pop animation. I think that's pretty much it. We can give it a bit of context by giving it the directory we want to put it in. Create a new animations folder and put it there. Also create a byte wrapper. So I'm just instructing it to also create a byte wrapper, some byte context. I think I disabled it for now. Let's just give it the context over here and send it off. This is just right now because I think I disabled the MCP before because I was playing around with the Figma MCP. There's one which gives the AI the possibility to natively take a look at Figma and kind of see the different nodes and so on. I was playing around with that. Had some issues, but it had so many tool calls I had to disable everything else. So I think I still had that disabled. But so what we're trying to do right now is just create a widget which doesn't know anything about our game, which is just standalone. It could be like a separate package. And we have named it a pop animation widget. It has a single ticker provider state mixin. There we go. And there's a play pop animation. Great. And the state is non-private. That's important because we can access the state by a public key, like a global key, sorry. This is exactly what we wanted. So what we have here is we have the pop key, and it created this demo with like a floating action button. And this is actually not needed because this will be generated, but anyways. Then we can, oh, sorry, there's ambulance outside. So we have this widget, this is the child, and if you press this.
At least it's not outside, not at your door. That would be worse if it was at your door.
Oh no. So this is exactly what we're going for. I'm wondering if this is too fast. I think it's too fast. Let's slow it down a bit. Slow it down a bit.
A bit is so subjective.
But I mean,
I'm amazed that this is really all. I'm amazed that this is all just really coming from autocomplete.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just,
and it's the please, you go first.
Yeah, just the emergent behavior that comes out of this, that is just trying. It's just trying to fill in a pattern that you're making.
Did you notice that it actually took really good decision? Because in negotiating with people, if they say, if you have no idea about the pricing, sell the half price.
Yeah.
So and it immediately, when it say a bit, it dropped from 300 milliseconds to 150. Like that would be the negotiation trick in trade.
Right.
It didn't risk it out. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. And now we kind of need to use it in the cards and give it the possibility to kind of play pop animation on a card. So for this, let me think. I think it's probably best. So again, this is kind of where we actually have to think, and I don't think that we can just tell the AI to make it work, because then it's gonna be weird or like bad. And this is kind of where it's important to actually think about how you want to structure. So we have this pop animation and we can play with a public key. We have the card in play, which gives us this ID that we can access. And now we want to wrap every single game card or like game card widget there is with this pop animation. So what I'm thinking, we probably don't care where the game card is. We want to be able to pop every single game card wherever, if it's on the hand, in the sprint backlog. So I'm thinking we should probably put this pop animation widget into kind of the game card widget. Right now, we only have a single animation. So it won't really matter if we have multiple global keys with the same kind of like, because we can only use a global value key for one specific widget. If we have different animation widgets, we're gonna be in trouble. But honestly, doesn't matter for now. We can always refactor it slightly. So I'm thinking we're just gonna wrap the game card widget in a pop animation widget. We're gonna have a static method that allows us to like play a pop animation on any card there is, and then that's it, pretty much.
Yeah.
So for this, let's wrap the.
Wait, why would it be a static? Wouldn't it be an instance method?
Because we have a global key that we can, like, using an ID, we can construct a new global value key to find that instance.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, since we already have a singleton implicit there.
Exactly, kind of.
Okay.
With the pop animation widget, create a static, or rather, then global value key to it, and a static method on game card called pop, which plays the pop animation. I think that should be enough. That should be enough context.
There was a typo in your widget name. Hope it didn't take the typo to the widget name.
Yeah,
Correct.
Okay.
typos.
It didn't take it. All right.
It's pretty good
It
with
made
kind of understanding.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so
was
okay.
specifying the widget name.
So yeah, like this. So we have a pop key that is being it's defined in build, which is it's fine. Who cares?
Wow.
Okay.
Card and play. It's using card and play, which it doesn't implement the equals.
Mhm.
I'd rather have the instance ID, I think. Okay. Use the instance ID. Okay, so this is an example where I think AI was great in kind of building all of this code, which saved us time. But this one we could have done manually, but it's like we're seeing where it helps and where it doesn't. Instead, an pop should return a future that can be awaited. Also call it play pop animation, not pop. I think that is more telling. Let's see what it does. Okay, cool. So this actually, yes, it gives us a future, which we didn't have before, which is nice. And play pop animation on the, oh no, this is what we saw just now.
We made a future with AI.
Sorry?
We made a future with AI.
Yes.
No.
Okay, I mean, this looks good to me, does it? Yep, I think this looks good. So now we can play any pop animation from wherever, as long as we have like the card and play or the instance ID. I mean, honestly,
No, it has play pop animation. Like,
sorry?
I'm just commenting on implementation part.
Okay. So I like this, and now whenever an effect is executed, we want it to kind of pop that card. So for this, we need to go into, let's check out what we have. We have our controller, and we also have, where was it? Models, all cards, not here. Game context. We also have the game context. That's kind of passed to different cards, which can execute certain things. So what I'm thinking is that every card should probably pop itself, because I think a game like this is going to have lots of exceptions. So there's going to be lots of different cards that do weird things. So I would think that, for example, we can implement something here where it says like context pop self or so, or play pop animation on self, or it could automatically happen on resolve. But I don't think that's a good idea to do it automatically, because some cards don't do anything, and for those cards, it shouldn't kind of do like anything special. So yes, let's see what the game context has to offer. We have a bunch of utility methods. We have things like these. Card being played. This is pretty nice.
You also have some discard methods commented out.
Yes. And also in the game context is being populated by the card being played. So I think we can just use this to kind of play the pop animation. So now add a method in game context, which is play pop animation on self. So again, this is something I'm not super sure we want to do it this way, but it's something we can do quickly. It doesn't require a lot of architectural changes. And here where AI comes in, now every card and play pop animation on instance ID. Now every card that does something, it should play a pop animation. Pop animation either on itself or another card it influences. What I'm thinking about this is some, like for example, the marketing cards, they resolve for 500 users for each feature played in the backlog. So I would expect all the features to kind of pop up one by one.
I think your prompt should be a little better. Because you write it like play in another card. Maybe you can say like related card it influences.
You mean this one?
I think these no, in the very end, you have another card it influences. I would replace another word with related card.
Should play
so this one should be related card. It affects something like that. So that it's not going, if you say another, it can go randomized.
That's completely valid. So what we do now too, so this is a bigger refactor, and let's just do this. But what this means, the on play and on resolve will potentially need to return in future because they await certain things. But let's just do this first. All cards, and then we want to refactor, so on play and on resolve return in future, that we can await, so they are not kind of influencing everything all at once, but they actually take their time.
So it's modifying thing. I think it may do the awaits itself now, because now it needs to make it with a logic. Maybe it's the time to connect with them.
Okay, wow.
Now on play and resolve is getting edited now.
And check this out, it's saving a list of animations and it's probably weighting them. Okay, this is not really what we want. Request pop animation on self. Okay, this is fine.
It is putting everything to a list, and if it gets contains, then it will trigger the reveal for that animation, so that it can animate 10 other or 3 other cards at the same time, because they have global. It will just call them from the list, I guess. Yeah, from self to target.
The problem is you had that singleton of just the one global key, so it's not going to work, right?
It should work. So I think it just missed something. So I think we just need to give it a bit more context. So it may have forgotten that we had this kind of this widget. So let's say call play pop animation correct ID. But what's also interesting, I think that's do not do the weird list thingy you did. Let's see. Maybe like that's what I'm wondering sometimes, is how Cursor kind of manages context. And I'm pretty sure they kind of throw things out, and it may have happened that it just didn't have the context and didn't know.
It's looking like it's doing, it's undoing weird. Undoing weird. What do you know?
Exactly.
How the heck can it do that?
Oh, so it added a build context. Play pop animation. Why is it using a build context over here? Okay, this build context is just not needed. I mean, remove build context. I was tempted to do it by hand, But let's use the I from as it's not needed. By the way, so this is kind of mingling logic and animation code, which is generally not too good. But
Right.
honestly, in this case, it's very much intertwined because we don't want the logic to kind of happen all once. We could come up with something super smart and fancy where it kind of creates a list of intermediate states and then we animate afterwards, which could be better for specifically multiplayer games or so. But honestly, right now it's easy to refactor at some point, and I think this is good enough. Also,
you don't want to be so ambitious that you're reinventing Flame.
exactly. And we're kind of like we're abstracting it all away in this kind of game context class, and we can always change up the implementation.
Yep.
Which is kind of nice. So we don't need a game context anymore, build context, which is that would be a kind of overkill because I don't like that too much. We just have a game context and no build context. On self, this is not requiring a build context anymore. We're just creating global object key and then like a bunch of different cards do certain things for confuse again and so on. So I think I like this. Let's see if it actually works. I'm really curious. So what we have is oh, there you go. So it had an on play effect. So that's why it's kind of animated right away. So don't mind the bug, they're still kind of refreshing, but we put this over here and then we play the marketing card, which is kind of weird right now. It also has a play effect, which is nice. We have a resolve effect over here. So there was an issue. Okay, but this is actually expected because we're not awaiting it. So when we resolve, it resolves in the same frame and there's no time for the animation to kind of settle or do anything. But that's kind of the next step we want to do. So now let's refactor the on play and on resolve API to return a future can be awaited. They should await the play XYZ animation effects. And for this, let's just give it a context that we know it will need. These contain all the cards for now, and also the game controller, because in there it's gonna need to await the different things before going on. We will also need to pass in the base card, which you already have because it has these. The card in play we don't need. The game state, which we don't need either. So I think we can send it off. Looking good. So there's a bunch of issues right now because it refactored the API over here, which is as expected, and now we'll continue. I feel like it has gone better where Gemini doesn't, like last stream and the one before we had a bunch of issues where Gemini told us that it's gonna do something and then it didn't. I feel like that has gotten better.
It said it's gonna do something, but it didn't.
They always say like, now I'm gonna implement XYZ, and it just yielded and didn't do anything, and we were like, okay, I mean, do it.
You got AI
Do something. Exactly.
AI taking a snack break.
AI appellation.
Okay, let's check this out. We play a feature. So it didn't animate because it didn't have a play effect. And we play this, so it animated, and if we release, it didn't work. Interesting. So this is the time when you actually need to take a look at what's going on. Run async, don't wait here. Okay, that's fine because it's on play card. Release, run async, don't await here. Aha. But we do actually want to await. Handle on resolve. So this is awaiting it. So release should wait it. Honestly, we're gonna break the rule. We wrote a single line of code
Mm-hmm.
like this.
Oh, you
We
broke
just
this.
need to wait it. Ah.
Oh, for
At
this,
some point, it had to be
for
done.
this, really?
It had to be done at some point. So let's
No,
reload. Play
I
these. I
can't
don't know
share
why
the
this
same
is
tweet again.
so interesting. If we move too fast, it is kind of breaking. We will need to investigate. There you go. There it was.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of did what we wanted to do. It just did a reload, so we have a fresh canvas. So we can play this again. We can play the marketing card. Ah, shit. Play this. Play the marketing card. Release. And then it disappeared. So this looks really bad right now, but that's not because the effect is bad. There's just stuff missing. And release, it should just have some more weights in there. So let's make the release slower where it awaits some delay. It doesn't look that rushed. Right now it just rushes through all the animation because it's just playing that and then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to
Yes,
mute the amount of your carbon footprint for doing this since you're generating all this code, but I remembered that Google is moving towards carbon neutral computing centers, so
in that
maybe
case we're
fine.
we are
We as
good.
humans will be burning more carbon than the computers are using.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, release. Nice. That was way better.
Yeah.
That was way
Mm-hmm.
better. So boom, and there's some time. So I mean, we will need more animations where we need the cards that have been played. They need to disappear at some point, kind of animate out. We just just want them to disappear. We also just want it to be a bit slower overall, and so on. But I mean, this is kind of building the framework of how it's gonna work. So for different types of animations, for example, moving somewhere, we can just call a method move that card. If I mean, do we have cards that influence each other? I mean, this is just
Meantime,
an
I am
unresolved card.
wondering, where do you actually go for refactoring? Like, for example, when I do generate my code, right now you're generating and building on top, generating and building on top, generating and building on top. What I do is I build, I see, okay, this is running. Then I say, okay, make it clean, compatible, more functions, like refactor this. Then I feel a satisfaction level in refactoring. Then
Yeah.
when I put the next generation prompt, since it's using a smart, or let's say better, cleaner code base, my generation goes better too.
Yes. I mean, depending on how, I mean, if we were to just fully vibe code this without taking a look at any of the code, it would have been a mess and we would have spent a lot of time refactoring. I think in this
Yeah.
case, we actually spent a lot of time thinking about the code and architecting it in a way that we like. So I don't feel like there's tons to refactor because I think we're on a pretty good path to what we want to do right now. But yeah, like sometimes just yesterday for something else, like I spent a couple of hours just refactoring AI code in the past, which wasn't necessarily bad code, but there were so many iterations, so many changes that some things weren't used anymore and they were still in the code. There were some to-dos, some things just were out of date and so on. And just taking the time to kind of refactor stuff here and there is
Because
definitely important.
what I think is maybe in the next thing as an automation thing or a cron job or a job, like imagine your developers, 5, 6 developers pushed AI generated code to your repo yesterday. And at night, you just have a job running for refactoring and connecting it all, finding the like inconsistencies in between like what people pushed, how could it be better? And then you have just another PR there, refactored after 6 developer edited.
Oh yeah. Like
One of the
you have
things I've been experimenting with is having the AI update my PRD as it makes changes. so that if I have new strategies that are being used that should be code base wide, the PRD is capturing that, and so the AI can read that to when it's building other sections too, to kind of keep things consistently. So I've had a little bit of luck doing that. So don't be afraid to update your design docs directly from code analysis.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many kind of ways to approach this. How to, I mean, at the end of the day, you can see we're super fast. About that's general software engineering, right? You're super fast at the beginning, and then it kind of slows down because you have to consider more. There's more constraints. There's more things that you can actually break. If you don't have any code, you can't break anything. But in this case, like for sure, it's going a bit slower. It's just a matter of kind of seeing where it's actually very like efficient and where it's not. And also, like, I think there's it's different modes, exploratory, like writing. Like I really like it for like very capsulated pieces of work. For example, in the first stream, we implemented the game controller, where we had this big design doc of draw these amounts of cards, resolve bugs. If you have that kind of design document written down and you just give it to the AI, and we let the AI write tests for it, that was a huge time saver, because it had this huge chunk of code with kind of logic, with if else, for loops, whatever. That's kind of easy to mess up. But yeah, for example, in this, different files, like the more architectural it gets, I feel like the harder it is to kind of like really use it. The more it goes to like just doing and practically getting things out, it's awesome.
Thank you.
But like generally speaking, I think we are approaching an end to the stream. We can chat for a bit longer. We started off with animations. I will there's stuff gets boring over time, so I will try to do a bit of vibe coding work off stream just to get the edges rounded off, polished, and kind of have more cool stuff in there.
Will you update the GitHub repo? Maybe if you can show that, I can also pull the URL up.
Yes, check out the GitHub repo. Last week's episode isn't updated yet. I just need to push. I need to check if it compiles. Like the current byte dependency is the way that version was structured is. I have to remove some stuff for it to work for everybody. That's not going to be an issue for too long. And
we have this. When will be the next time?
So
already
every Sunday we postpone it from last Sunday to today because we were all busy that day. But the date, if no further notice, it's Sunday, 7 p.m. UTC +2. Where was it, Randall? You're the time zone expert.
Let's see. So, well, I'm trying to remember when Sunday starts. What is it? UTC? You said.
So whatever time it is now, minus 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
Let's see. It's 10-ish. So 10. So that's going to be 17 UTC. 1700.
Okay, yeah, exactly. 5 p.m. UTC, 7 p.m. UTC +2.
Yes.
Sundays, I will try to see. So what I would really like to do on stream, because I think that's super fun and very visual, is to just get more cards in there, like more effects, more combos. Later, I mean, this is a deck builder. A deck builder lives by kind of advancing your deck, replacing cards with better versions. And kind of that's where I hope next stream will kind of lead to, and I will just try to rough out the different edges. Exactly.
In meantime, like maybe we can also catch up about the design system and so on, or we can record something in another stream, or at the end of everything we can do some design system test, how it goes.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe if anybody's interested, we could do some collaborative vibe coding, like have different streams working on it. Like, honestly, I'm not quite sure where to take this game. I think it's a fun idea. I would really like to have a version now that is playable and like post on Twitter and everybody can post the high scores. So maybe we'll do some kind of different people working on it, having different things, whatever. We'll see.
I would like to help in the design experience part of it. Like I was already making some like with some sound effects and like some stuff. Then it's just cleans
Oh
things
yeah,
out.
that would be really fun.
I like that would just come with the design system and the cards based on their, let's say, marketing or others bug cards. Then it would have their own visuals, different color of smoke, and then just like move
Oh
around. I'm like thinking some fancy, so that would be like maybe another badge. Why not? I need to go see what my cursor can do.
Oh yeah, like I think for
Sure.
me, one thing that isn't like crystal clear just yet is the end gameplay. Like what exactly can you replay features? Do you build up features to like a bigger release? So I think there's a couple of details that still needs ironing out. I think we have like the core kind of type of gameplay down,
Yeah.
but there's just playing features and marketing cards is pretty lame. So I think there's a bit of work to be done. But
Can you
yes.
ask it to make a fun and goal game? Like, you know, in Monopoly, you just got some stuff and then you just finish, or you hit a number and you finish, or you just finish some type of card. Like, for example, let's say if you are bug free, then you are winning. Or when everything just finished in the deck, then the person who has the least bug is the winner, or most bug is the loser, something like, you know, so that they need to have a let's say gamification. I think we can get gamification from AI too.
I mean,
Let's make
it is a game, so
competitive a little, you know.
You
Yeah.
also still need to get an animation there somewhere where you're representing burn down by an actual flame burning time down or something.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I really like it. I mean,
I also
I want
like
to
the
make it
skulls.
as nerdy as possible. So
Yeah.
many inside. I was thinking, like, when I was exploring designs, I was thinking about maybe implementing a Kanban board, some kind of Jira-like design into the game, which is
Right.
would be
Oh,
horrible but very fun.
by the way, it can have multiple teaming, you know? One can be gyro teaming, the other can be with smoke style. It'll be just another prompt of my design system, no worries. Then you can pick your character and play with the custom teaming is there for something.
Or connect it up so that it actually files real Jiras in one of your
Oh my
repos.
God.
That would be great.
Make your work fun. No. No.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fun stuff to do. Like that's the like honestly, design, and I'm not
Oh
just
my
talking
God, yes,
about
Gyra.
Yes.
yeah,
And
like
this
I
is
think
why
there's so
I
many
don't have any
possibilities.
apps in the store. This is why I don't have any apps in the store. This is the ideas I come up with. That's how useless they are.
Imagine as much as you have every round is called a release. And when you have the release, as much as you have the bug, there is a product manager gets angry to you.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
and that's the load of anger of product manager.
I think there's so much fun stuff that could be done, especially like with assets generation, like with voices and kind of
my
AI
God.
coming up with quotes. So like depending on what kind of features you played in that release and what kind of marketing cards, there's an AI that comes up with some, I don't know, funny anecdote or whatever that happened for that release. Like users hated it so much because it was just marketing, whatever.
Imagine
But
as
that's
much
kind
as
of
you got more bugs. Sorry, just got
no, don't worry.
one more, and one last for sure. I'm gonna cut it short. As
Yeah.
much as you have more bugs, you have more customers and PM mumbling. So the background noise is getting like mumbling, and then as a user, you lose focus. It's got like gradients on it because you're having focus problems as a user. So you need to focus on bugs and clear your screen back again. Oh my God. I
I
just
also
love it.
really like this one.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
5 p.m. on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that kind of
Friday. It's like bluff. It's the bluff card.
I'm just thinking about what the positives of it could be. Like, I'm seeing a lot of negatives, but why
Yeah.
would you? I mean, maybe it could be like a card you're forced to play because you need to
Oh,
release and it's Friday already.
yeah.
But like, that's kind of, I feel like it's also the beauty, but it also is super hard, like designing stuff. Not designing in terms of UI and UX, that's also very, very hard, but like just designing things in general, how they are supposed to be, because there's so many ideas, like so many cool things that you could build. and you need to decide and choose exactly one to do. So
Well, it
It's the
would be nice.
decisional.
It would be nice if these cards could be generated by AI, so you're never playing the same game twice.
you mean at
You know,
You
runtime?
know what?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one. Mhm.
So like the cards you're using would get prepared in a deck, but unique for each brand new game.
That could be fun. I mean, we're already kind of using AI generated content, but like during build time instead of runtime. But
Right.
I think runtime could be very unbalanced depending on what the AI comes up with, but it could also be
But
very fun.
welcome
You
to
know
reality.
what?
I mean, that's reality for you too. I mean, reality is very unbalanced most of the time.
Have you
True.
played? Of course, you played Farmville before, right? Imagine this
I
is like a
haven't.
Farmville. A Farmville, like you have
I know
farming
Farmville though,
things.
yeah.
Like you put something, then you have 2 hours wait time, and then you go something. Imagine this is like this game is like that, and what happens is you are playing, you pull the car, and it says, "Ezra, you have a yoga class. Come back 2 hours later," and I can't play the game. Then it gives you a work-life balance, and then you just like move, and then you wait for something. Then it's like, yeah, your colleague is in another time zone. You cannot play this card. Like you cannot play the marketing card.
That could be fun.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, there's so many
It
interesting things
has
to do.
make player go outside.
That'd be great.
I love it.
There's so many interesting things to do. But
So,
yeah,
Can go forever.
yes.
Yeah.
oh, there's another question.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
can
Alright.
users enter their own AI credentials and don't have to pay for their card effect creations and runtime? I mean, it's possible,
That's
right?
the cool one.
It's possible. I
It-
mean, yeah, like having a game toolkit, like a base game, and you kind of provide your own API key to. You
It's
can
like
choose
Apple
the
Pay.
model you want to play with. Like you can use Gemini, which is like fast-paced, like action games, or you could use Claude,
Oh
which
my
is like
god.
more relaxed and chill. Be fun.
Gemini token key and then ChatGPT token key.
Yep.
It's like a wallet.
Yeah.
So many things.
And then the title screen is like average cost per game is like XYZ.
You know what? I actually this is an open market right now.
So many interesting things.
Could
Oh
be
my god! Okay.
could go anyway. Yes.
Anyone
So
listening this, please do it. So
and
that we
build
can
it, please.
play.
Anybody who builds
Build
something
it,
like this,
please.
link it to us, send it over. I'd love to check it out. I also feel
Yeah.
like AI and
Right,
game dev is
same.
something super interesting because game dev is all about prototyping, kind of getting
Ooh.
stuff out.
Pay to win on a whole new level.
Right.
It's
Imagine,
pay.
oh my god, it's going gambling now. I was like, I put I put 100 tokens and I earned 5,000 tokens from someone else.
No.
No. It's time to finish the stream.
Yeah, so plan this to have a stream next week. I'll need to see how we continue. Like naturally things become more slow, so I will need to kind of do more off stream and kind of come on stream for the interesting bits and pieces. We'll just chat internally about what kind of interesting content we can come up with. I mean, maybe just having like a super short stream where we have some fun and talk about ideas and kind of jot them down, something very interactive where maybe it's just like a card design session where we have everybody in chat can submit card ideas and we kind of prototype them out and test them out. That could be super fun.
Randall, do you think
Or
can we do the casual ones in our Zoom?
yeah, we could do that. Or one thing we could try is to take a list of ideas and let the AI figure out which one's going to be the easiest and most fun to implement.
We can already give the transcription of this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe next stream is gonna be like a game design stream using AI. Like we will just feed it all the rules. We'll kind of simulate different games. We'll ask about progression, about balance, and it would be interesting to me. Like I've been using AI to kind of come up with the general idea too, but it was a lot of iteration. So maybe it could be fun to see, can we use AI to kind of iterate on ideas without building them? Like specifics. We have the direction already. We have kind of the base game, but we need to like nail down the specifics. What exactly are kind of the numbers? What exactly? Because right now, pretty much every card is 2 hours. There's some variation missing. That could be a fun stream.
Are you planning to put a CFP to FlutterConf, Flutter and Friends, or any upcoming conference? Because what I am thinking, like, imagine you pulling up this game in a conference, and then we are giving some swag to the winners. Ooh. Oh, I love it! Like, you are joining in-person events, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Okay, we can chat. We can chat about this. I like it.
But yeah,
Flutter Belly Meetup would love to welcome you too. So let's see.
We can also let AI learn how to play it so that it can test play it on its own quickly.
Actually, that could be super interesting.
Yeah.
Like, does AI know what fun is? Like, if it knows the genre, does it have enough information to understand that this is supposed to be fun for humans? If you know what I mean.
You can give a similar game.
If it can autocomplete it, it can do it. That's it. That's it.
Okay, I see.
Completion, man.
Tons of experiments to kind of do. I think we'll have enough content for future streams.
Forever.
We'll be here forever. All right.
Awesome. It was fun. This time was a bit shorter, but I hope people enjoyed. We'll continue next week, and it was fun hanging around and continuing the game.
Alrighty.
Thank you all for joining us, and I'm gonna please follow Norbert and Flutter community for all of the tweets and announcements. We will be like always updating it there.
Yes.
All right, then I am finishing the stream. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.